The NBA has officially instituted a draft lottery reform. The new draft lottery significantly cuts down on teams' chances of winning top picks year after year. Formerly, the worst team in the league had a 25% chance at the top pick, while the second worst team in the league held a 19% chance. Starting in 2019, the three worst teams in the NBA will each have an equal 14% chance at the number one overall pick. This is the NBA's first step to eliminate tanking and encourage teams to recruit free agents and rebuild on the fly, just like the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder have this offseason. So guys, this is something new for all of us. It's still a little gray area. We're still trying to figure it out, trying to understand what this actually is. But this is definitely a big step for the NBA trying to eliminate tanking. What do you guys think of this reform, just as a first reaction?
Personally, I hate it. I think it's so bad for the NBA right now, especially what the state that our league is in with the parity between the top teams and the lower teams. It really just doesn't do the teams that are just struggling, especially the smaller markets. It does not do them any favors at all. Teams like the Hawks or the Pacers, who have started to rebuild this year, if this does not guarantee them like a top 3 pick and they end up falling maybe 5 or any time below, that's really going to just stunt their growth as a team. Because teams like that, they don't really have the lure to like get big free agents. Yeah. So it definitely kills the smaller market teams.
I have to agree with Jordan. It does hurt the lower market teams because they don't have the money, they don't have the resources, they don't have like the lifestyle that players want to play in or live in. So I agree. It hurts them to the point where they're just bad. They can't help it. Like exactly like Atlanta happened. They had Dwight Howard, a bunch of all-stars leave in the past 3 years, and it's just going to hurt them even more than it hurts like, say, like a middle row team like the Memphis Grizzlies or like the Lakers or per se.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing I think, though, that I think the NBA did this for this specific reason. I think the NBA instituted this rule because right now the league is a goldmine of talent. Seriously. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, there are stars all over the league. It's going to be almost impossible to make it on the Western All-Star team this year. And on top of that, we've got young rookies like Dennis Smith Jr., Lonzo Ball, Jason Tatum. All these guys, I think the league is such a surplus of talent right now. Guys who could, reach that threshold of an All-Star in their first couple of years. I think that's what gave Adam Silver, the courage to make his first, I guess you could say, controversial move. But I kind of like this because it does eliminate tanking and adds a new fold to the NBA. It's definitely something different. Jordan, do you see it working, though? Do you see pushback?
I mean, it'll work, but I just think with this rule, for instance, it's just kind of a situation where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, obviously. Yeah. So I just don't really like it personally, just because of what it does to the smaller market teams and how much pressure it puts on those younger rookies who come in to really make an impact. Because if you're the Atlanta Hawks and you're drafting maybe Michael Porter, like you're investing like your entire franchise into that guy, and if that doesn't pan out, I mean, it's just setting you back for years to come.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to get back in the lottery. But does this incentivize teams to go hard in free agency?
It does, because it puts pressure on the front office to actually make moves instead of just relying on the draft, saying, hey, we're going to tank, we'll get a 25% chance to get the first pick. Now it's even playing field top. The 3 worst teams get 14% each. It makes more pressure on the front office, say, we need to get these players, we need to make these trades, we need to get these free agents, because we can't rely on the draft anymore.
Right, yeah. It's definitely an interesting thing. Well, do you guys have any other thoughts on this reform? Do you think it's going to get repealed, maybe?
I mean, the one thing personally, I don't know if it's going to get repealed, but the one thing I do like is how they're not instituting it until 2019 to give teams that maybe were tanking this year a chance to maybe just get one more time in the draft lottery. So maybe the Hawks or the Pacers will have a 25% chance to get that first pick. Personally, I think they should have given teams maybe 2 or 3 years instead of the 1-year buffer between the rule change, because it really does have a big impact. I mean, a lot of the times in the draft, if we look, like the difference between the 1 pick and the 3 pick, while we only see it's only 2 spots, like that's a big difference in players for a lot of the drafts we've seen.
Yeah. The governor's board loved it. I think only one person on the governor's board rejected it. Everyone loves it. The public might not love it, but the owners, the NBA, they love it. That's the only thing that really matters. So
yeah, with a league that's getting ever more competitive, this is just another fold. Now the front office guys got to get a little more competitive. Yep. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this show. Thank you for tuning in on Coast to Coast Sports. This has been the NBA Show. I'm Richard Geraffo alongside Jordan Desouza and Matthew Andujo. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.